Action.
Hello, so today I'm going to use a water bottle and some food, some spaghetti from dinner, some carrots, and a banana, and this water bottle to show the renal system and represent kidneys, the nephron, so on and so forth. So, and the biggest process that we're actually going to go over is the whole filtration process. And our kidneys are very, very important units for our body. They help with maintaining blood levels and also play a big role in filtration, whether that be blood, whether that be waste, whether that be drugs, whether that be anything you consume and need to excrete out of the body in urination and anything like that. So first off, we have this water bottle, and this is going to represent our kidney and our renal system. And this water bottle right here is a good representation of this because of the filter that is here. And so this is going to filter our solution that's down here for excretion. But first off, we're going to head down to our food, and I'm going to construct a nephron. So first things first is we have the renal corpuscle, which is not here, but this is where initial filtering of the blood and so forth occurs. And then right here, this of the spaghetti is the proximal convoluted tubule. And then here is where the biggest permeability of water occurs. And that's because of the amount of aquaporins that are available there. So now I'm going to take my carrots and I am going to create the loop of Henle. So this is loop of Henle, and this is very important structure of the nephron because this is a place where water and sodium are reabsorbed. And the loop of Henle actually has two major sections. And they actually kind of have opposite roles, which we'll talk about in a second. But this is going to be our descending loop, and this is going to be our ascending loop. Now, our descending loop is impermeable to solutes, but is permeable to water. So opposites there as well. And then we're going to move on to our ascending loop. We're going to have the opposite. So here, it's actually going to be permeable to solutes, but impermeable to water. And then also here is where filtration of the urea occurs. Urea is just your urine being processed thing. So now I'm going to take my spaghetti. I'm going to make a little coiled thing. Get there in a second to the banana. But this right here is actually going to be my distal convoluted tubule. And then here is where almost all the urea is filtered and a lot of reabsorption and secretion happens here. So at this point in our distal tubule, the process of filtration and is pretty much complete. And then at the end, it heads over to our banana, and this is what's going to represent our collecting duct. So here's our collecting duct. So finishes in our collecting duct. And then here, this one right here is actually regulated by hormones. And the biggest hormone that is regulated by is called vasopressin, or also known as ADH, your antidiuretic hormone. So, which plays a role in many places in the body. So right here, kind of to sum everything up, we started in our proximal convoluted tubule. Then we went to our loop of Henle. We went descending, then to ascending. We then went through our distal convoluted tubule and into our collecting duct. And so this is kind of a rough kind of drawing of the nephron, which is one of the biggest structural units in the kidneys. And actually an interesting thing is there's about 1 million of them in your kidneys helping out with this whole filtration process. So a very, very important kind of key role playing function for the kidneys in filtering everything that needs to be filtered in all. So yes, then heading back there, we're gonna head back to our water bottle and kind of end our whole filtration to excretion process. So after the kind of filtration process occurs, your urine heads to the bladder. And in the section of the bladder, this is where the urine is stored until it is ready to be secreted. Now, this water bottle is also a good representation of the bladder because, for example, I go like this, right? And nothing comes out, right? Just like, for example, when my body is ready filtering my coffee that I drank this morning, I don't just urinate whenever it's done filtering. I can hold it until I get to the proper location to excrete my urine. And this is called the guarding reflex, which allows you to hold that urine. So right here, our water bottle is kind of showing the whole guarding reflex. And then once I am at the proper location and I am ready to excrete my urine, the urine then goes to the urethra, and the urethra is what takes the urine to the outside of the body, and this finishes our whole process of the renal system, where urine is excreted outside the body, and the process is complete.